Coming up today on Studio 13 Live, we're catching up with more of Seattle's Love is Blind cast. Find out what they have to say about dealing with the ick this season.
Plus, if you need a boost for your Monday, we are trying different canned cold brews with a Tomo coffee.
Then, author Tori Dunlap is talking all things finance with us. Hear all about her new book and learn how to improve your money mindset.
And Sushi is here to cook up some Indian street food. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
Hello, happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Mireya Garcia. And you know what? If you celebrate Easter, I really hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful day. And we had a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, you had a really exciting weekend. What did you do?
So I went to Skagit Valley with my family. Look at that. And we got to participate in the Tulip Festival. And a little later in the show, I'll give you an inside look at, I visited Rosengarten and had a blast. And Carly, you had an adventure as well.
I did. So I drove with my friend Tara about 80 miles east of Seattle, and we visited our friend Elizabeth, she's a remote worker, and so she rented a cabin out there, and we were like, let's go explore this town of Roslyn. We went on a nice little hike, had some food, hung out in a cute cafe and bookstore. It is, if you've never been to Roslyn before, definitely go. It's a cute old mining town.
So I saw the pictures you posted on Instagram, and the exterior of that cafe gave me Schitt's Creek vibes.
Yep.
I loved it. It was so cute.
Yeah, and actually the show Northern Exposure was filmed in Roslyn back in the day. So if it looks familiar, that's what it's from.
That's why.
Yeah, it was cool to just get in the mountains and do something new.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you notice something a little bit different about the Space Needle later this week, it is because it's getting a makeover again.
Okay.
So on Thursday, special guests will be painting the roof back to that astronaut white we all know and love. Now, last April, it was painted that galaxy gold, a name I take issue with because it was clearly orange. The color it was when it debuted at the World's Fair back in 1962, and it actually will be marking the end of the Space Needle's 60th anniversary celebration. And I actually prefer the galaxy gold. I'm gonna miss it.
I'm here for the white. I love a fun refresh. I feel like it's gonna be very cohesive. I'm kind of excited for it. And also, I don't know if you know this, but I learned to become a Space Needle elevator tour operator recently, and so tomorrow you'll get to see a package of, we'll see if I have what it takes to give people rides up and down. You have to give them all the information about
I feel like
what's
you got
happening,
it.
so you'll see. Well, we have to talk about this story. Everyone in the world is talking about this. Taylor Swift and longtime boyfriend Joe Alwyn have reportedly broken up after 6 years of dating. Now, some fans started to get skeptical because they haven't seen Joe during the Eras tour. During a show in Texas last month, Swifties believed that her song Invisible String, which is said to be a love letter to Alwyn, for the one, so she swapped him out, which is a song about ex-lovers. Now, neither Swift nor Alwyn have publicly commented on the reported breakup. To be honest, I don't know if they will.
I doubt that they will. We don't know, but of course we wish them the best. The thing I didn't like seeing on social media is that some people were making fun of the potential end of this relationship, which I feel like is just so completely tacky and unfair. I mean, yes, she likes to keep her private life as private as possible, but the ending of a relationship, especially after 6 years, is difficult, whether you are married or not. So I think that certainly deserves some amount of respect.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because we've obviously seen all the TikToks circulating of people's experiences at the Eras tour. And so we don't know if she's absolutely heartbroken behind the scenes about this, or if this is a relief to her. I kind of hope they're making some kind of documentary and we can know in the future. But one thing is for sure, she will channel all of her emotions into her music. My hope is that by the time end of July rolls around and Taylor comes to Seattle, is that she has maybe written a new song and we get to hear a new song on the Eras tour, because that's a lot of months to tour for 3.5 hours a night, or 3 hours and 15 minutes a night. So I'm really hoping that she'll be coming up with a new song, perhaps about this, that we'll get to hear. But sending all of our love to Taylor, because it's never easy breaking up.
No, it's hard out there.
Even when you know it's the right thing.
Absolutely. And you know what? one thing we know about Taylor, she's always writing. So I think you might be right. I'm
Yeah.
very hopeful you're right that
Yeah.
she'll come up with a new song here.
Yeah.
Well, we have been talking about this particular movie for some time now. Super Mario Brothers actually smashed the competition at the box office this weekend, okay? So it earned a whopping $377 million worldwide, becoming the highest grossing animated movie opening in history. So the film actually earned close to $150 million in North America, which is the highest debut for a video game-based movie since last year's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which opened up with a much lesser amount of $72 million. And you know, this, like I've said before, is making my inner child so happy. But if anything, this movie just tells me that families were looking for more to watch together, especially during a holiday weekend.
Yeah, and I did hear that it's a pretty like family-friendly movie as well. And you actually get to meet Mario and Luigi's extended family in the film. I was reading about it. So I think their dad has made an appearance before, but now we get to meet their mom, their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents. So it's kind of fun. It sounds like it's a lot more than just, you know, Mario popping out of a green pipe and being like, woohoo, I'm here, let's roll. You know, it's like a little bit of a deeper story. A little
Absolutely.
bit more of the history of what made Mario Mario.
I love it. I feel like
and Luigi, sorry, I gotta show love to Luigi
and
too.
Luigi, who was my favorite when I used to play the video game, you know, so I feel like we got to give Luigi some love for
gotta
sure.
give him a little love. Well, let's talk about this. The San Francisco restaurant that inspired the Fox animated hit Bob's Burgers has closed its doors. So the interior design of the Just For You cafe was the inspiration for the show. The owner says that he hasn't turned a profit in 2 years due to the pandemic and due to inflation. He says he used his entire life savings to make it that far. That's so hard to hear, and what a bummer. I really hope that because there are so many fans of this show, maybe they'll crowdfund something or a new, you know, opportunity for him. But I know business is tough, especially if you think of like a Greasy Spoon diner. Like the cost of eggs has tripled in the last couple of years. That's been really difficult. I read that they got down to this like skeleton staff, and it was the owner, his son, and 2 cooks, and they worked 76 days straight at one point. So no one can say they didn't try everything to, you know, make it as much as they could.
Yeah, I think that we all know that restaurant ownership is extremely difficult. And obviously it was this man's dream, right? Because you don't put in this kind of work just because. So I'm certain that he was trying to wait it out. But it is so difficult when you just don't know. I mean, the pandemic had so many questions for people. You didn't know how long you had to hold on. And now, even though we're past this point, it's taken a while for things to get back rolling. So absolutely. I mean, I'm a big Bob's Burgers fan. I'm a big fan of small businesses. So hopefully there will be new opportunities here. But wow, what an iconic thing to be known for as well.
No, and it's just like what a lot of small businesses are dealing with. So sending them all of our love too.
I know, that's so tough. All right, well, this story is funny, though. It'll make you smile. There is a very bunny real estate agent who put up a listing that's gone viral. So the realtor is out of Rochester, New York, posted pictures of this house with an Easter bunny in every single room. Check that out, just casually hanging out. So some people thought it was a little bit creepy, but it worked because the realtor got dozens of showings after the ad posted. And now the seller actually has officially accepted an offer on the house because the realtor didn't just win on this, by the way, also got several new listings out of the deal.
Oh, I don't like that one.
So it...
I don't like that one.
I just saw it. I was reading the prompter, so it took me a second
That
to
makes
see
me
it.
feel weird.
Okay. Well, apparently, though, it pays to go or hop the extra mile.
Oh,
am I right?
For someone who doesn't like puns, I love that you just did that,
I know.
Mireya.
I couldn't help. It was right there. It was right there. Oh, it's so weird, but I feel like nowadays on Zillow, you almost have to work to go viral.
Yeah, especially with like Zillow Gone Wild
That's
and
right.
accounts like that we're such big fans of. It makes sense to do something special. And you know, okay, I don't like that Easter bunny. I wish that it was like a cute stuffed Easter bunny. That Easter bunny had a lot of attitude. They made me feel weird, okay? But if it was a cute little like stuffed animal Easter bunny or something like that, I could see how people would like that, especially people with kids, because then the parents are looking at it thinking, there's joy in every room. Look, magical memories could be had here. Not with that Easter bunny though. That
People
Easter
are
bunny is
weird. Yeah, people are weird. They like weird things. That's okay too, I guess.
We accept you if you like weird things.
That's
okay. Speaking of animals going in places we wouldn't expect, how about that transition? A hospital in Alaska got quite the visit from a moose last week. Take a look at this. So a young moose made its way inside the Providence Hospital in Anchorage. The moose got in because the doors automatically open when something gets close to it. And apparently, there are no exceptions, not even for a moose. Everybody quickly took action, and thankfully, nobody was hurt. Oof.
It's not every day you get a moose walking into a building. So everybody was excited to take pictures and stuff like that. But, thankfully everybody did remain calm because the moose didn't seem to be spooked at all.
Well, that's good. The hospital says there's never a dull moment, and it's actually not the first time a moose has wandered inside.
The first time?
Come on.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you a story that's going to make me look not too good. Okay. So I'm not a big outside girl. I support it. I'll do it from time to time, but I'm just not out there a lot.
Yep.
I once saw a picture of a young baby moose, and I said to my husband, "Oh my gosh, what is wrong with that horse?" And his family has not stopped making fun of me
Just made me
since
snort.
then. I know. But I learned my lesson. That, my friends, was clearly a moose. Not a weird horse.
Well, now you know. Now you know. Oh my gosh, Ray, that's so funny.
I know. We all have those moments. It's okay.
I mean, there's probably not a lot of moose in Texas, right?
No. And his family is from Montana, where there are a lot of them.
There
so,
you go.
I have my excuses. Let me live like that. Hey, listen, we often talk about food delivery workers and kind of some of the crazy stuff that they see. Well, apparently, some of these workers are just fed up. They say that they don't want to do it anymore because they are just so under-tipped, okay? So the Business Insider is reporting that so many employees who work for companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats say that they just are not making enough money to live doing their jobs because they're not getting enough tips. So more workers are instead focusing on getting jobs at higher-end restaurants in hopes of getting higher tips. We've told you before that delivery workers have refused to hand over food or even just eaten the food themselves if the tip is too low and they don't think it's worth it to make the delivery. So, this is a really difficult thing. And I've always said that tipping culture is getting out of hand, but the reality in the United States is that there are some jobs that are tip dependent.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're all frustrated with it. I think we just need to overhaul the whole system, maybe make it so that they are at least making minimum wage, and then the tips are a bonus, which is, I feel like, how it was originally designed in the first place.
I think so. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, still to come here on Studio 13 Live, it is time to check in with TMZ.
Tristan Thompson is signing with the Lakers, so we're going to talk about what this could mean for his relationship with Khloe Kardashian. I'm not thrilled about it.
I know, but heads up, this Friday, we're taking Studio 13 Live to the Spring Fair in Puyallup.
And we are going to be going on all the rides, hanging out with the animals, and of course, trying a bunch of food. So we'll see you then.
It is time to take a look at what's poppin' in celebrity news.
And for that, we're bringing in Fabian Garcia from TMZ. Hey, Fabian.
Hey, good morning, you guys. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. So we hear that Tristan Thompson is signing with the Lakers, so that means he's going to be a lot closer to Khloe Kardashian. But talk to us about why this is significant.
So it just seems to be the latest sign that he and Khloe, who again share 2 children together, might in fact be rekindling their romance. Despite the fact that from the Kardashian camp, the official party line we've been hearing from them for these past several months is they're not getting back together, they're not romantically involved, they're just co-parenting, yada, yada, yada. Like, that's what we've been hearing, right? So we're like, okay, fine. But we're seeing them out in public all the time together. Remember, she went to his mother's funeral recently. He also attended her best friend's birthday party when in reality he had no business being there if considering they're not together. Now he's signed with the Lakers. He's going to be in LA way more. And by the way, he's in LA all the time anyway because he lives here, his kids are here, his baby mom is here. So now he's going to be in LA a lot more. And from the outside looking in, it seems like they're getting back together. Remember, just this past week, they were out at McDonald's together. So what's going on? From my point of view, I'll just speak for myself here. It seems like they're getting back together, and I think the reason Khloe Kardashian and or the Kardashian camp don't want to publicly admit that is because it's embarrassing. And she gets clowned for it all the time. She gets made fun of. What are you doing? Are you an idiot? And I get it, but it seems like Khloe Kardashian likes this guy, might want to be with this guy, and I'm just going to call it for what it is. It seems like they are in fact back together. That's my opinion.
I mean, I feel like Khloe's got to do a lot of mental gymnastics to make this seem like a good idea. I am not here for this relationship, and I feel like I can tell you're frustrated with it, Fabian. I'm frustrated with it, Mireya.
Absolutely.
It's like,
it's true. Yes, to me, look, I'm not trying to be mean. It does seem clownish if she continues to get back with this guy who has cheated on her time and again. Yet she's an adult. She's her own person. She can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
More power to you, I guess. If that's what you want, have fun.
Yeah.
That's all you can say, really.
You said it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Fabian Garcia,
And
thank you
go
so much.
Lakers, I guess. Go Lakers. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we can't say that, but you can.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, Fabian.
Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, let's talk about some dessert, because a cake from Costco is trending after a customer says that their order might have been misinterpreted. So a Reddit user said he put in a very specific request and just wanted white frosting with red borders. As you can see, he drew a picture of what he wanted, even writing to make sure to get it right. But the cake decorator ended up taking the request very literally. This is what he got. A picture of that little box he drew on the center of a white cake. For what it's worth, it is pretty much an exact match of his drawing.
Oh my gosh. Do you think that the cake decorator was like, I'm gonna troll this guy, or were they like, no, I'm trying my best?
I think they were trying their best.
Okay.
I think maybe they tried to call them and say, hey, do you want this box on the cake? And then that person thought it was like a spam number or something. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of follow-up questions you could ask when you're unsure about the task, but I think this kind of stuff is funny.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
embrace
so.
it.
I really hope that he had fun with it, because why not?
Yeah.
All right, property managers, you're going to want to take a deep breath here, okay? In a new survey, 25% of people, and I personally think this number is actually higher, but whatever, said that they had a pet even though it was against their lease agreement. Okay, so when it comes to getting caught, most people said that a surprise visit from the landlord is what got them in trouble, but 20% said that they actually were snitched on by somebody. But people say that they sneak their pets into a property because pet rent is getting way too expensive, as well as other large deposits. So what do you think? Kind of risky.
I'm not surprised by this. I personally pay $50 a month in pet rent for my quiet dog who never pees inside, and it feels like such a ripoff. I know sometimes bigger dogs can like be destructive and be ruining things, but I understand why people do this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, like, especially because for a lot of people, myself included, your pets are family, you know what I mean? So it's like really difficult if you would have to choose between a family member and your home.
Yeah.
So you try and keep it quiet. I can't believe people are snitching on others though.
I
Dang.
know. So rude.
All right, still ahead, we have Atomo Coffee joining us in studio. We're gonna take a look at their beanless coffee.
Yep, we'll get to be trying a few of their ready-to-drink canned cold brews right after the break. It is time for Seattle Sips, where we highlight delicious drinks in our area.
And today we are joined by Andy Kleitch, the founder and CEO of Atomo Coffee. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
We're both coffee drinkers,
I know.
so we're
You do,
excited
you
for
do.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day,
Every
my
day.
friend.
All right.
Absolutely. We
Good.
wake up very early, so we are so excited to try. And Atomo Coffee, founded in Seattle 2019. And you make this coffee without beans?
Right. So we make actually a better coffee that is better for the planet without using any coffee beans at all.
Okay, so if there's no coffee beans, what ingredient do you use instead?
Yeah,
How does this work?
How does this
work?
work? All right. Well, if you were to like look at a cup of coffee, there's compounds in that coffee. Like what makes coffee coffee? What gives it the aroma, the taste, you know, everything that you would expect in coffee. Turns out that we can find those in other upcycled ingredients. So things like date pits, which are typically thrown away, we have found a way, our scientists have found a way to engineer those date pits to make them actually taste like coffee.
Interesting.
Okay, well, does it change the flavor, or is it like a coffee that we're familiar with?
Well, I'm going to have you try it. All right.
Oh,
And,
okay.
you're right. You're going to try. You're going to try 3, and the whole trick here is to make it taste just like coffee.
Okay.
And this first
This
one.
would save
That's
my
really
nails.
fancy.
Actually, that's all I'm thinking of right now.
So we've got 3 flavors for you.
Okay.
today, okay. This first one is what we call ultra smooth.
Okay.
And ultra smooth, we did something really unique that only we can do. We removed all the bitterness from the coffee.
Perfect.
Right. So if you don't like bitterness, this one
okay.
is actually, so give it a try.
Because I don't usually drink black coffee because of the bitterness.
Really?
So,
Okay.
here's
So
yours.
this
Yeah.
is, thank you. So
Okay, so it smells right. It smells right.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's-
it tastes like cold brew.
tastes like cold.
yeah.
Right. It tastes like
With
cold
like
brew.
almost like a little hit of vanilla.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
A little bit?
It has a little bit of vanilla in it, no sugar to it, so you don't have to add cream or sugar to that though. Really,
Okay,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you could drink that
Yeah, I
straight.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
It'd just be fine.
Yeah.
So this second one, this is what we call the classic, and classic is exactly what coffee tastes like. Like this is a traditional black cold brew, just what you would expect.
Okay.
So you can see the color and everything just looks just like coffee, and go ahead and yep.
Smells like coffee.
Ooh, I like that better, but I like that bitter, a little more
A little bit of
bitter.
bitterness,
Yeah.
It's got the roast, kind of the toast.
Yeah.
We call it like
it
the
tastes like coffee.
Yeah.
It's like
totally
cold
does.
coffee.
Wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly. It's got that mouthfeel like
Yeah.
coffee does, and it kind of gives you the coffee breath even in a little bit of a way, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Ooh, yeah.
it really does it. So this is the treat, okay? This is the one where if you like want to give yourself a treat in the day,
Yeah.
and if you like oat milk lattes,
That's what I drink every day.
this is no allergens. It's a little oat milk latte. It has a great mouthfeel, and so go ahead and give that a try.
All right. Should we cheers? Wait, we haven't
Oh, we
cheers
absolutely
yet.
cheers.
Okay.
I like the smell.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Number one.
Number one,
Number
fan. Yeah,
one.
right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're all good,
Oh,
but this
but
is a treat.
It's a treat. It is
Absolutely.
a dessert.
Yeah.
my
How did you get into like doing all of this?
This is so about 4 years ago, I set out to do something that was better for the planet.
Yeah.
I gave myself a goal, like do something better for the planet and dedicate my life to it. And Elon has already invented electric cars, so you can't do that. So the next best thing is coffee, right? Because
Yeah.
60% of people, over 60%, drink coffee every day. So this is something that actually everyone can participate in. We can all do something better for the planet, and it's something that can really make a difference.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that it's good for the planet
Yeah.
and it tastes good because I think that's how you get the people on board, right?
Right, it has
has
to
to be
taste good. In fact, our engineers every day we're like, we're doing something better for the planet, but if it doesn't taste great, then people aren't going to drink it.
Yeah.
And really it's about doing something every morning that you can wake up, have your coffee, and know that you're doing something just a little bit better for the planet
I
that day.
love that. So where can people find this?
You can buy it on our website. So we are at atomocoffee.com. And so go on the website today and try it out.
Awesome. And you have some kind of upcycled cups too?
We do. Oh yeah, we've got this fancy little cup here that you can buy on our site. It's a wine glass, or it's a wine bottle, right?
I
A wine
see.
bottle cut in half. And
Cool.
made into a cool little, you're right. So made into a cool little cup that
Oh, that's
as our little
awesome.
logo
Very
on there.
nice.
We offer those for sale on the site as long as, some swag for the, for the fans.
Yeah. So were you doing like sciencey things before you made this delicious canned
I
coffee?
have spent the last 25 years working at places like Amazon and Microsoft
Yeah.
and doing mostly technology, honestly. I
Okay.
spent 25 years in software. Realized I'd wasted 25 years of my life. I should have been in coffee the entire time, right? Because who doesn't love coffee? And when you bring coffee to a party, everyone, you're a hit. right?
Absolutely.
So software development, not as much fun as
Yeah,
coffee.
that's fair. You found your way.
Yeah.
I do have a very important question though.
Yeah.
Is there caffeine in these?
Oh, there is. Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, how much
Right.
caffeine?
All right. Well, we dose it exactly at 84 milligrams.
Okay.
Okay.
So which is about a normal cup of coffee. And
Excellent.
and we use the
Okay.
caffeine from upcycled green tea. So it's a green tea, a decaffeinated green tea.
And that's like anti-inflammatory too, so that's really good for you.
It's a real mellow buzz, but just like coffee, but it's a green tea.
Well, I have to tell you,
Excellent.
Andy, you blew my mind today.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
good.
for coming in.
Yeah.
We've got more info on Atomo Coffee and their canned cold brews up on our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live.
Thank you again. This is
Great.
great. So still to come, we are checking in on more of the cast of Love is Blind.
Yes, this season is in Seattle, and I had to ask them about dealing with jealousy as well as the ick. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. You never know what spring will bring to the Puget Sound, but we do know April is tulip season and Skagit Valley is really showing off.
It sure is. You know, I jumped in the car this weekend, drove up to Skagit Valley to visit Rosengard. I hope I'm saying that right, okay, for the Tulip Festival, and it was a magical experience, even though the weather's been a little tough on the festival so far this year.
Colors everywhere. This weekend was about the flowers. Rosengard is a standout, but that colder weather has had an impact on the tulips. They are usually in full bloom, but this early April, they were just starting to peek out and say hello. That doesn't mean we didn't have some blooms showing off. Check out these daffodils, bright yellow carpeting the grounds. And of course, the garden was already looking bright and lovely, and the smell was amazing, even on this chilly day. And by the way, the flowers and garden are redesigned every year and replanted every year in the fall, so it's ready to go by spring. A great spot to get outside and enjoy the sights. Blooms can move surprisingly quickly, so if you've been waiting on those tulips, the second half of the month might just be the right time for you. In their latest bloom update, Rosengard says they expect that light haze of pink in the fields to turn into full rows of blooming colors next week. But whenever you decide to venture out, remember a warmer weekend means more people out and about. So there is a perk if you want to head out there to the Tulip Festival on a colder day. My family and I, we had a blast. We'll see ya.
It was cold. You heard that wind. It was cold that day, but I still had a really good time. You know, there are actually several spots participating in the Tulip Festival, and Rosengard tickets are $15 for anyone that's older than 2 years old. And here's a plus, though. You can just buy the tickets right now, and then you can use them for any single day during the season.
What a fun thing you got to do. That looked amazing.
It was very, very sweet, and it was very Instagrammable, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, what a good adventure, because I've always seen that in like Amsterdam and other places, but it's right here.
Here at
right
home.
here in Washington.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh.
All right, well, let's talk about this, though. There is a nationwide obsession with Love is Blind. It has not slowed down, and Seattle especially invested because the latest season has taken place right here. And Carly, you've been binging this.
Oh, yes, I have, my friend. And I've also been talking with all the cast members, and I'm really excited to bring you this interview with Jackie, Chelsea, and Irina. But I'm just going to say this. Keep in mind, this conversation was filmed before last weekend's episodes dropped, so some things might have changed with one of these couples since. If you're caught up, you know what I mean. Enjoy the interview. Well, Jackie, Chelsea, Irina, I'm so excited to talk with you today. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Oh, what's up?
So I got to know, when you were in the pods here, what were the questions you asked that got you the best answers to the things that you needed to know?
To be honest, I walked in there and I just wanted to get to know them. I was just like, tell me about yourself. Because once you tell me about yourself, that's all I need to know. So I was just like, go ahead and let me know exactly who you are, what you be on, what's your vibe, all that. And then I can pick and choose if I want to be with you or not.
I feel like that's a classic best first question.
Oh, good. Okay.
Chelsea, what about you?
I honestly think my first question was like, what's your go-to sneaker? I love shoes, and I think I brought upwards of 20 something pairs of shoes to the show. And like, there was a guy that said like Nike Freeze, and I just like got the ick immediately. Nothing with that, but I just want my man to, you know, to have style, to have swagger, to be confident in himself, to be bold, like, you know, look at me and what I like. So that was important to me, and I got a lot of information that way.
I would say it wasn't more of like a first question. It was more, I walking into every room, I was like, I kind of like small talk. I know a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I was like, how well can I maybe have like, well can this person match my energy that I was giving? And so I feel like if someone was able to like have these like small conversations and laugh and kind of like joke around about things to begin with, then maybe like the deeper stuff would be easier to go on to. So
honestly, I'm with you. I feel like small talk gets a really bad reputation, but it's kind of enjoyable.
Yes, I agree.
Chelsea, what did this process teach you about jealousy and just how to deal with it?
I feel like it's highlighted for sure my self-confidence and my, being true to myself and knowing who I am. I think that going into the show, you have to know that you know, the person that you're falling in love with is dating, you know, many other women. And this was like a little microcosm of having to interact with those girls and talk with them. And I think for me, I just got to practice, you know, how much I value myself and my respect. And yeah, there were moments when, you know, it might have faltered, but I really tried to stay true to who I was. And I respect everybody on the show, and the process and the journey is hard. And I think I just learned to continue to be me.
I'm literally treating you so poorly. Like, I know it. Like, I won't even like look at you, like touch you. Like, you talk to me and I literally look away. Like, I'm a complete jerk to you. And I know that.
Irina, I have to ask you about this because I feel like the second when you were floating in that pool and you started feeling the ick and I mean, you were probably feeling it before that, but you were willing to share that with your friend. What does that tell you kind of about what you would do in the future in a relationship if you started feeling that way?
So I feel like
Irina.
I'm always to be true to myself. And I think that meeting Zach, there was initially something that didn't feel like right in my gut with him that I was trying to like kind of force or push with him. But obviously having a friend there, being able to share like everything, I feel like I was trying really hard. Like in my head, I was like, I thought I was going to marry this person. I said, yes, we're engaged. And then it came down to just not feeling it and not having this like safety gut. Like I just didn't feel comfortable around him. I feel like I couldn't be like my full 100% self. And so, yeah, I would say it was definitely like difficult. I feel like moving forward in the future, like I'm going to continue to be myself and not do anything that's not meant for me. Like, I don't think me and Zach were meant for each other, and it was going to come out eventually. So I no hard feelings towards him at all. But like, I'm always going to do what I feel inside that I should do without forcing anything.
100%. I mean, I feel like I could tell from like the first second you guys met, like it's not actually a match. I don't know. There's just some kind of chemistry that was missing.
I don't know why you look like a fictional character. You look like something out of like a cartoon. You have to blink.
I am blinking. I will try not to be too intense. You know, Romeo and Juliet didn't work for a reason.
You're going to give me a migraine.
And then Jackie, finally, did you know what your answer would be before you got to the altar?
I knew exactly what my answer was going to be before the altar. We talked about it every day. We had daily check-ins. And that was like one of the things that me and Marshall was always going to talk about was, what are you going to say when we get there? What are you going to say when we get there? What are you going to say? And it would be back and forth. So we both knew exactly what we were going to say.
Jackie, Chelsea, Irina, thank you so much for chatting with Studio 13 Live.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy.
Catch up with you guys soon. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview, and the final episode of season 4 drops this Friday, followed by a live reunion special on Sunday. And if you're watching, send me a message on social media. Let me know who from the cast you'd want us to bring in studio for a chat. Maybe we can make that happen.
Ooh, I hope so.
They're in Seattle. I think it could happen.
Pretty good.
All right, coming up on Studio 13 Live, we're sitting down with the founder of her first 100K.
You'll see how she saved $100,000 at age 25 and hear the advice she shares through her book and podcast, Financial Feminist.
Hey, welcome back. At just 25 years old, Tori Dunlap successfully saved $100,000 and quit her corporate job in marketing to help other women do the same.
She's the founder of her first 100K and the author and podcast host of Financial Feminist. And today we are joined by Tori Dunlap. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to be in studio after so many Zoom interviews for so long.
I know. We're so happy to have you. And you know, saving 100K, no easy feat. So talk to us about the plan behind that when you first started and how you finally reached that goal.
Yeah, I started to realize in my life that when you have money, you have options and you have choices. And that is the feeling I want for every single woman on this planet, is to be able to have all of the opportunities she dreams of and not letting money be the reason that she can't. And so my journey to 100K was a couple things. It was, you know, my ability to save a portion of my income, but also her first 100K, this now global multi-million-dollar business, used to be a side hustle. And so so I was pocketing the money from that as well. I also had parents who were really strategic in teaching me how to save, which I realized is a privilege. And with that privilege came a responsibility to teach others. So that 100K at 25 was really my permission slip out of corporate to be able to run her first 100K full time and start impacting people.
Oh, that's incredible. And I know it can be really confusing thinking of like retirement accounts and 401ks and how all of this works in general. Do you have any advice for how people can best invest for that right now?
Yeah, the first thing is, like, it sounds a little cliche, but you need to picture 65-year-old you. It's really hard to contextualize, like, oh, I'm saving for this huge thing that's far off, but like, I'm saving for Nana Tori, right? And she's like drinking Sauvignon Blanc with lunch, and she is flirting with her much younger Pilates instructor, and like, that's going to be like me. And I have to remind myself of like, okay, I'm saving for this far off goal, but I'm really saving for myself. So if you are thinking, okay, retirement's 10, 20, 30 years off, why should I save? You're saving for future you. You're saving so that future you has an amazing time. In terms of actually, you know, the act of saving for retirement, if you have something like a 401k, a 403b, some sort of workplace retirement program, that's going to be the easiest way. Just start contributing to that. And if you get a 401k match that is free money, please take advantage of it, right? You are doing, you're getting double the money for half the effort. So if you don't have one of those 401ks or 403bs, something like a Roth IRA is a great option. That's an individual retirement account that you can open separately from your company.
And now, in this economic climate, it is tough. I'm afraid to look at my 401k, if I'm honest, from time to time. But talk to me about there still being value in these tactics instead of, you know, trying to go it alone.
Yeah, I think that life is just hard in general right now, right? Like life is just really hard to navigate, but specifically with money, like no one's taught us how to money, right? And we think we're either born with the good with money gene or we're not. We think it's an identity, right? Rather than I didn't speak fluent Italian when I came out the womb, right? Or I don't know how to play an instrument. It's the same sort of thing. So in order to get better with money, you have to be flexible in how you learn, right? And understanding like you're not going to be good at it for a period of time, and that's okay. But find somebody, maybe it's me, maybe it's somebody else, right, who can advise you and who can guide you around how to save money. Just like, you know, if I want to speak French, I'm going to hire a tutor. I'm going to download an app, right? I'm going to start learning more. So offer yourself a ton of grace. It's really hard to navigate this because no one taught us.
Yeah, it's really confusing, but you're doing so much for helping people learn too. I mean, New York Times best-selling author over here. Financial Feminist is your book. You also host the Financial Feminist podcast. Talk to us about how feminism and money go hand in hand.
Oh, I mean, we need like 2 hours to discuss all of it. But I mean, that's the thesis of my book really, is when you start diving into these sorts of, you know, narratives that are taught about money, you realize, you know, the inequality and the wealth gap. Like, it's just so obvious to me that we can't talk about personal finance without talking about systemic oppression. And people think, okay, these are, you know, it's like 100% your personal choices, right? The reason you're not rich is because you buy too many lattes. And of course, that's not true, right? And the math doesn't work on that. And so it's really, really important to realize that about 80% of the personal finance equation is these factors like racism, sexism, ableism, homophobia that have nothing to do with your personal choices, right? And so when we talk about, you know, building wealth and we talk about navigating the financial system, we have to talk about these like gray area, not so fun things too. So money and feminism, like they have to go hand in hand.
So you and I have actually known each other for a long time, back when I worked in Oklahoma City and I was on a consumer and financial beat, okay? And one of the things that I've always found very interesting about you is you supporting a value-based budgeting system or spending plan. So talk to us about that and why it's so important to really having longevity in the way you spend.
Yeah, I know. Everybody at home just heard the word budget and they're like throwing up a little bit, right? Like
tense up.
Yeah. So the word budget, right, for many, many years has meant restriction, right, or deprivation. And even a lot of the finance experts now, right, are telling you again, like, you should basically hate your life, create a budget so that you can never go out. And like, that's not fun. And that's not what I'm about. Like, I want to travel. I want to go out to eat. And you really have to figure out though, what do you value, right? And what I value is going to be different than what both of you value. And what I value is going to be different than what somebody at home might value, right? And what we talk about in the book is identifying what your 3 value categories are. These are the 3 areas in your life that you get the most joy. So for me, that is travel, food out and plants. I have about 55 plants in my house, and I love them more than anything. So that's where the majority of my money is going. Now, am I occasionally buying a coffee? Yeah. Am I occasionally, going to TJ Maxx and buying a sweater? Yes. But the difference is, where's the majority of my money going? Because you work hard for your money. I want you to be able to spend it on things that you actually love and that are going to give you the most joy or the most happiness, like return on investment. So it doesn't mean deprivation. I just need you to stop spending money on things that you don't care about.
That's excellent advice. Tori, thank you so much for visiting with us today. And of course, we have more information on your book and your podcast. That is Her First 100K, the website, Financial Feminist for the book and podcast. We have all that info on fox13seattle.com/studio13live.
Yeah, come back again and teach us more financial wisdom.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Coming up on Studio 13 Live, we are learning how to make Indian street food with Kushi.
It includes some veggie samosas, some chicken tikka. Ooh, it smells good already. We'll be right back.
Hey, it is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight amazing food in our area.
Yes, and today we are joined by Chef Mayur Tapa and owner Oliver Banguera with Kushi. Welcome to you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You made our studio smell so good.
So good. And we were just joking that everyone here, including you guys, are suffering because it smells so good and we have
just
to
waiting.
Yes, all right. And now is the time. And Oliver, you actually own 2 restaurants, Kushi in Bellevue, Nirmal's in Seattle. So tell us about the different environments and what people feel when they go in.
So Nirmal's has been around in Pioneer Square for now 8 years, 2015. Got through COVID.
Yeah.
We're still here. And then Kushi opened August 2022. And it's in Bellevue downtown next to Lincoln Square. It used to be the old California Pizza Kitchen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's next to Western and Lincoln Square area.
Yeah. Well, you make all this delicious, authentic Indian street food. Talk to us about the menu and what people can expect with the flavor.
So with Kushi, it's all about Indian street food, because in India, a large part of India relies on street food for their lunch. And so what we've focused on is inexpensive, very accessible street food. So we've got the samosa there.
Love a samosa.
Samosas and the chicken tikka.
Perfect.
Looks amazing.
They're both, very popular street food. And Mayur knows,
all about it.
Yeah, and wherever you go, Indian food, you talk about Indian food, samosa and chicken tikka or chicken tikka masala.
Sure.
The 2 things they pop up in your mind. So we thought we'll try and showcase those recipes.
Beautiful. And this is available at Kushi, yes?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Let's get started.
Yes. You want to show them?
So I'm using a traditional potato and green pea filling here for the samosa. But you can use anything. I mean, if you like meat, you can use meat. You can like cheese, you can fill in cheese,
I would.
So it's just a simple technique. It's simple once you have done it. So,
And so what'd you put on there?
It's just water.
Oh, just water. So it makes it stick.
Yeah, it just makes it stick here.
Okay.
You make it like a cone. You take a handful of the mix and just shape it like a cone.
Look at that.
Put it inside, as much as you can.
Yep. So don't fill it all the way, because
Yeah,
you won't be able to close it.
yeah.
That's a mistake I always make when I'm cooking.
And then you go all around again with the water. And then you stick half the side first.
Okay.
And then you put your finger here and you just, stick it all over there.
Fold it over. I've never seen anyone make one of these actually, so this is very interesting.
And you can tell when you go out to eat if it's a homemade or a
Yeah,
frozen one. The
absolutely.
homemade just tastes so much better. Look at that.
That's amazing.
That's how a samosa's made.
sit
Fry it
proud
up
like that.
usually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
And it's deep fried, and we have a couple of them ready.
Awesome.
Normally served with
Absolutely.
mint chutney and a tamarind chutney.
All right, do you want to try it a little bit?
I'm going to go for the tamarind. Can I just dunk it right in there?
Absolutely.
Go nuts, girl.
It's
Go nuts,
street
girl,
food.
right?
It's
Yeah.
street food.
Oh, that's true. So you would eat it with your hands?
Absolutely,
Yeah. Okay,
absolutely.
excellent. What do
Love
we think?
it.
And
It's
then-
fantastic. I would definitely come visit you and get this.
Thank you.
I love these. They're so tasty. But we're also going to make the chicken tikka. So walk us through this.
Chicken tikka, it's a marination. We've obviously given the recipe, and the marination is with ginger garlic paste, lemon, just to give it the tanginess, and then we add spices like red chili and cumin
Oh.
So that all builds up to a certain flavor which you associate it with a chicken tikka all the time or a tandoori chicken.
Nice.
So,
Beautiful. Let's cook it up. Oh
so
my
is
goodness.
tikka usually spicy?
Chicken tikka
Yeah.
supposed to be a little bit spicy
Yeah.
because it has like couple of chilies going in. One is for the color and the other one is for the spiciness. Two types of red chilies go in, so it's a little
It's
bit.
Kashmiri chili and
Degi
mirch.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
And while that's cooking, you've got a full bar, you've got some cocktails and
Absolutely.
yummy fresh pressed sugarcane juice. Is that right?
Yeah,
Tell us
that's
all
our
about your
specialty.
things.
So that's one of the things that, again, street food in India, it's warm in Bombay. And one of the first things, and water is not necessarily safe.
Yeah.
So the first thing people want to drink, that's sugarcane.
Yeah.
And we are one of the few restaurants that has fresh sugarcane. We're able to get, really good sugarcane here. And, so people love that. It's, nostalgia.
Yes.
Because that's what you grew up drinking. So we love that. And one of the things that is what he has brought in, like a dessert called gaver. It's an amazing thing to watch, just making it.
What is it?
It's I mean, we make like a thin batter of flour, milk, and there's a special technique which you use. We have to cream the fat with ice to start the process. So it has to be nice and creamy. You should see the this thing, and then you start building up the rest of the batter. It's a thin batter. You pour it from a certain height, and then it splatters and goes on the side. And at the end you have like a honeycomb structure.
Oh,
Crispy honeycomb structure, and then we top it up with some rose flavored sugar syrup and cream and it's like a cottage cheese and cream based topping on that.
That sounds delicious. Oh my goodness. And this is already smelling amazing. Now it's skewered because you want it to be like handy, right?
Exactly. People are able to just pick it up and just eat.
That is beautiful.
Can I
try some?
Yes.
The best part is you can either
right
grill
here.
it, or if you want to bake it, you can bake it in the oven also.
Beautiful. And what is this sauce right here?
That's a green chutney. That's mint and coriander chutney.
Ooh, I do love that kind of chutney. Okay, let's give it a little try. Ooh, she's got a kick.
Spicy.
But it's delicious. Oh my goodness. And really handy to be able to just hold
Yes.
it. Eat and walk, baby.
And one of the things I want to tell people, if they try samosas, do not fry it in high heat.
Oh, okay. Good
Make
tip.
sure.
Good tip right there.
It's medium heat. You have to cook it for a while.
Hot tip.
Yeah.
We
Thank
do
you
want to
so
thank
much.
you both for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we do have a link with more info on our website.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.